Hi everybody. I'm Marta Andreoni. I'm design chapter lead at the books team, the product and UX team at the X Markets. And today I would like to give you an overview of what DesignOps means and how we made it as a team to scale within 2 years while being 100% busy with projects. I have to warn you, I have a lot of high numbers of random pictures and a couple of hidden advertising, so stay focused. First of all, let's start speaking about us designers. We are essentially problem solvers. We like to help, and we find ourselves often in the situation where we spend a lot of time in things helping people, and why the design role is really wide. People are coming to us with all of different type of challenges. And this is how the to-do list of a designer might end up being. So a lot of things to do. But take a look in details and you will see that most of them are actually not proper of design work. Like, for example, managing budgets or managing risk, recruitment, or knowledge archives building. This is all are all tasks that are not really connected with design work and delivering design work. So as a company scales and mature and invest in design teams, there's an increase in need to operationalize the workflow, hiring, alignment between teams, and many other tasks. So this is where DesignOps is helping teams scaling digital product teams in an efficient way. Essentially, DesignOps are all those activities that helps to take away the overhead connected with organizing and managing teams and take that away from designers so that they can really focus on their work. DesignOps is called design, but actually can also be applied to UX teams in general. And the main goal is to make designer happier. And in small organizations or small teams, might be like in the books team, a shared role. So we share, for example, within the team leads these responsibilities. And in other bigger organization on the other side, could be covered by a role. Let's take a look at the value. What is really meant to be design ops? So according to a Nielsen Norman Group survey, UX professional mentioned that there are 6 elements that are bringing value to organizations through design ops. The first one is standardizing, so ability to standardize methods, tools, and processes. The second one is enabling and supporting design work, but also scaling design reach and impact within an organization. And at the same time, increasing the productivity and efficiency of teams, and then enabling alignment or collaboration, working together to produce better quality work. What are the main area covered by design operations? First of all, people. So the way we work together, the way we collaborate together, the way you hire people in design or in UX in general, and the way you grow, the way you deliver the work, so the process that you apply to get the work done, tools and methods that you use, and then how you create impact through your work. So it's about quality, it's about metrics and measuring them. So for today, since I don't have so much time, I will focus mainly on the people side of design operation. Let's start with taking a look at team scales and the structure. And this is starting a little bit with the story of the books team, which started with a 3-people team to 13. The situation was like this. So in 2018, we had so many open positions in product and UX. It was really hard to find people competing with companies like Google and Gillette and Ginetta. And having one full stack engineer designers is not the same as having a team of specialists. So we were also outsourcing the knowledge by giving the work to external agencies, but then not retaining internally this knowledge. So this is where the idea of the Cooks team came about, covering the areas of design, research, and product. But what happened in the meantime to design team within our organization in general? So if we take a look at the numbers, we see when we started, at least, this was the situation, and a slight increase can be seen now, with also an impact on the ratio between designers and developers. And this trend is actually common all over the world in all the digital organizations. So the ratio between designer and developers is increasing on average of almost 3 times. And while we were growing in numbers, there has been also a different type of structure of UX teams, in first the books team, but also internally into companies. So when we started, for example, we have been the only multidisciplinary team serving all the different companies. And internally in companies, we had also design teams providing work for different product streams as it's centralized services. But then until now, so there has been an evolution, and team grew a lot, structuring them better themselves, and now we have the situation where we are really partnering up with different companies. But for example, research is serving more product teams, and design is more integrated into the different product Scrum teams. So with team growth, the first step of team growth is actually hiring new people. So hiring a team means finding the right skills. And the first question that you ask yourself when you want to hire a designer, the most common is, do we want a design specialist or a generalist? My answer will be to hire a T-shaped designer, not a T-shirt designer. So T-shaped designer, that means a person with enough broad knowledge in the UX span, but one core skills with deep knowledge, or two, depending on the maturity of the person. And this is probably one of the most common situations, because sometimes the expectation of companies is to hire a person that is able to cover the entire span of UX and doing perfectly from research to prototyping to coding and even analytics. But this is actually not always a guarantee of quality and efficiency in the long run, even if you think you are sparing a little bit of money. Aim for a more realistic scenario. So more realistic means two main core skills where a person is deep in knowledge, but also overlapping skills that are overlapping other disciplines, and this could have really good benefits for communication. Think about, for example, a designer able to code. He will be better in understanding engineering, where they are speaking about the product and the technology. And never forget the soft skills that match your team and your organizational needs. Once the team is there, it's really essential to spend time to grow people on a personal level and on the team level. What we are now, for example, working on in our team is defining a set of skills that are, or at least a framework, that allow us to identify the best skills and expectations in both design, research, and product. But already last year, for example, we worked on assessing our own skills to understand what are the area that we want to develop, and how we can set a plan to grow as a team and as persons, to grow our talents and creating opportunity to learn. To do it, we use it as very simple skill mapping. We identified area where we are strong at, and then we have seen where the different lack of knowledge or where we want to improve, and then identified learning opportunities. So we took part to courses, conferences. We organize learning session led by teammates or with external leads in the field. And we have, for example, feedback rounds internally where we can really learn from each other, or receiving, each teammate can receive mentorship from another discipline. Also finding projects where you can use these new skills, new project or existing one, and apply them on the field. And this is only an example of a list of new skills recently acquired by our team. So facilitation, UX management, content strategy, and mobile growth. Really key in a team is the culture and the way you collaborate together. And DesignOps is also helping to structure or create a space for a culture to grow. There are 4 elements that help us a lot in building our own culture and making the Cooks team so amazing and special. So first of all, we work on our identity and vision. We work a lot on our documentation, so documenting our work during the time, and keeping a good communication between us, and creating some rituals. That means all the events and meetings that we have together. So we work on our identity and vision. So this was a way to understand who we are, who we want to be, and where we want to go in the future, helping our companies. And that helps us to identify some concrete actions to take and make them happen. So as I mentioned, documentation is also really key elements, especially when teams are growing and people are coming and going, and especially now that we are all remote and we really need to keep our knowledge. Documentation like a research repository. We have an internal archive of research, but also we build some for our companies. We have a UX library to keep knowledge into the team. We keep track of our projects. We have a portfolio to show what we have worked on and the impact. And we also have documentation to onboard or instruct each team member about how to work together. And here about culture and communication, I really like to celebrate the Cooks team today, because we really have a unique culture, and I really like it because it was never imposed from the top. So it was coming from us. It's about people listening to each other, willing to work together, collaborative, sharing, inspiring ideas. So being positive and without complaining too much, but proactive in problem solving and taking responsibilities with passion and productivity. Also accepting feedback, positive or negative when needed. What helps us to stay together are also formalizing some way to get together. So rituals like weekly feedback and sync, or bi-weekly meeting one-on-one or about projects, monthly all calls, which is the equivalent of all hands, where we share our projects we are working on and the progress, and then quarterly meetings together, retro team events where we have also fun. It's not always about work. And then, yeah, cross-functional projects and alignment or spontaneous get-together. So, in essence, what is DesignOps about? It's about standardizing process, method, tools to work together efficiently, enabling design work or UX work in general, scaling the way we work, scaling the impact, improving ourselves and our products, and facilitating a good culture and a good collaboration altogether. At the end, the results of a good applied operations, design operations, brings more efficiency, a higher quality in the work that we deliver, and therefore better products. And at the end, we hope happier users. So with that, I hope you enjoy this amazing day and the other talk. And I'm happy to have answer to your questions.